Okay, is this thing on? Yeah. I think I remembered to plug the microphone into the iPhone today. So hopefully you don't hear the hum of my atmospheric water generator like you heard on yesterday's video. Anyway, thanks for all the feedback. Lots of nostalgia from yesterday's, or not yesterday, today's Sunday, of Friday's video about my first computer, my TRS-80, and so many of you are old school. I mean, you got the VIC-20, the Commodore 64, the TI-99-4, the Atari, the Apple IIe, the Apple IIe Plus. Like some of you were using the DEC computers, like from the late 70s. And so there's a lot of old people, a lot of vintage people that are following me and watching this video. And I got to thinking after I graduated college and all that, I had a computer. It was a Tandy again, but it was like a 286 PC, and I was dialing in, I think, first at 1200, then 2400 baud, and up to whatever the next modem level was. But before we had the internet that we know today, because that, for me, that came in 1995. For the previous 5 years before that, I would say from 1990 to 1995, I was on the various online services. So post BBS, but now you had commercial services that offered you online access to message boards and communities and news and weather and sports and games and all these things for a fee. So let's see how many of these online services you remember. I was subscribed to, I believe, 6 of them, okay? So let's start with the one that you're probably most familiar with, and that is AOL, which initially was called America Online. They won the game. They weren't the first, but they had the best marketing. And their marketing, if you'll remember, was that they would send out and hand out free floppy disks before CDs, floppy disks that contained the software, and you would get them in the mail. They would just be sent to you in the mail. Try a free trial of America Online. And eventually they became AOL when they went beyond America. But I was on in the floppy disk era. I had an account that was, I believe, comped to me. I want to say 1992, 93. I'd have to look and check for sure. But because I was behaving as a member of the press, I got a free account. So I never paid for my AOL access. But it was the place that popularized You've Got Mail. It became so popular and ubiquitous, AOL and You've Got Mail did, that a film was made with Tom Hanks and Megan Ryan, and one of the 3 rom-coms that were created with the 2 of them. Of course, the other big one was Sleepless in Seattle, and bonus points for anyone without looking it up. Comment below what the 3rd film that starred Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan was in the rom-com series. I actually enjoyed it. A lot of the critics, I think, panned it, but it was pretty good. So comment and let me know if you know what that one was. A little froggy in my throat there. There's something liberating about not editing these, by the way, but there's this part of me that when I'm talking about AOL, I want to show you a picture of the disc right here. I want it to pop up. I want to produce my video so that it's more visually interesting and looking at me. So hopefully my stories are good enough to not do that. So AOL, previously America Online, was the biggest. Before that was CompuServe, and CompuServe took a more professional approach to it. They weren't trying to mass market to households and to mom and pop and the kids with it. They were providing online services, and it felt more academic. They got broader as they went, but they got there first. They were there years before America Online was, and I did have a CompuServe account, though I didn't really use it much because I got pretty much what I needed from America Online. Here's another one that you'll remember. I think the one that really tried to hit the family and make computing online fun and easy for people was Prodigy. Yes, I had a Prodigy account as well. Again, I don't remember using these others as much as I did America Online, but I had an account. I did use it a little bit. Message boards, news, weather, sports, chats, games, same general stuff. They might have even had classifieds of some kind on Prodigy. Okay, now we're going to get a little more obscure. Those were the three biggies. Before I tell you the other three, see if you can guess. So I'm going to give you a second here. Imagine Jeopardy music playing right now. See if you can guess what the other three were. Okay, we're going to start out with Delphi or Delphi, Delphi. I think, and I need to get fact check on this, maybe Hey AI on YouTube, who created Delphi. I want to say it was AT&T or something, and this was like super nerdy, really high tech, pre-internet that kind of felt like a BBS. And I wish I could remember what I used it for, but I was on there. And then the fifth one was created by General Electric, GE, and it was called Genie, Genie. Get it? GE, Genie. And they were trying to go with a mass market approach as well. I don't think either one of these, neither Delphi, Del something, or Genie really got very much penetration into households. But I had an account on both of those as well. And then the sixth one, which was the one that was the most fun for me to use, was created by Sierra Online, Sierra Games, Sierra Online. Sierra created the very early adventure games like King's Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, Space Quest. If you did any computer gaming on your Apple, your Amiga, or your PC in the late 80s, mid to late 80s and up to the 90s, then you know Sierra Online. Roberta Williams and her husband Ken created the company out of the Sierra in California, and they were selling software directly to computer stores, and they had a hit and went commercial and then sold stuff in the boxes. Used to own a bunch of it. In fact, there is a video on this channel from, I don't know, gosh, probably 15 years ago, where I showed my then software collection, hundreds of pieces of vintage software that I owned when I still lived in Colorado. And I owned so many of these. I sold everything. I sold my entire collection this summer before I moved to Puerto Rico. I'm like, I can't carry this stuff with me for the rest of my life. I asked my kids if they would want it when, I passed away, and they were like, no. I'm like, so I just sold it all on eBay and, made a few $1,000s from it, but it was fun collecting it. I took pictures of everything, so I don't really miss that stuff, and that's a story for another day about decluttering. But Sierra Online incorporated the characters from their best-selling games, and it was obviously cartoonish, and it kind of inspired for me what would eventually become my first website, World Village, especially with this concept. They kind of Disneyfied the homepage so that you would go to a zone. There was an image. It almost looked like, Walt Disney World has the map, Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland. Sierra kind of looked like that, where you would click into a zone to access different content. And that definitely inspired what would become worldvillage.com in 1995. And I think I'm going to talk about that probably in the next video. I'm not sure how much of what I want to talk about is going to be sequential. I might interrupt and talk about something completely different. But I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate you liking. There's the thumb. Say, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bells so when you get a new story uploaded. By the way, this is also going out on my audio podcast. For those of you that used to subscribe to the Joel Comm Show on your either Apple Podcasts or Google Play, it's being syndicated there, and I believe Spotify as well. So if you hear me talking, what's this video he's talking about? I just hear his voice. That's fine. You don't want to look at me anyway. But if you do, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Joel Comm. And if you're watching on Facebook, I appreciate that as well. But if you don't mind, let's see if we can boost the YouTube algorithm a little bit and come find me over there and subscribe to that channel. And I hope that you have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Look forward to hear your thoughts. See ya.